Hey everyone, I'm Josh, and in this video I want to talk about height insecurity specifically for men. One of my awesome viewers actually suggested this video, and I love the topic immediately because, well, I don't know if you can tell through the medium of video, but I'm not tall myself. In fact, on a good day, I'm maybe like 5'8". I'm probably closer to like 5'7¾", or between that and 5'8". I am not at all tall, right? That's below average height in the US. So this is something that I've dealt with personally throughout my entire life. And with that, I have some tips that I can share with you that can help you if you fall into the same boat of dealing with insecurity related to your height. So the first thing I want you to realize is something you probably already know, that yes, there is unfortunately a lot of stigma surrounding short men. We know this, right? We probably all experienced it. We all know that taller men tend to get more promotions at work. They tend to have an easier go of dating, and the list goes on. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't want to gaslight you. This is the truth. We know that. If you are in a Western country and you unfortunately weren't born with great genetics in terms of height, it can hold you back to some extent. But here's the important thing I want you to focus on here. You still have a lot of power within this. Even if the cards are somewhat stacked against us because of our height, which is so ludicrous. I mean, we literally have no control over that, right? Like, there is nothing we can do to grow taller if our genetics are stacked against us from birth. Like, literally nothing. Well, okay, I guess there's some surgeries out there now, but I would advise you do not go that route, because here's the only thing you really need to work on when it comes to insecurity about your height. It's your own self-esteem. Building your self-worth up and getting rid of that insecurity of believing you're not good enough simply because you're shorter than other people. Who cares? Again, that's something you have no control over, so don't let it bother you. But if you go the route of trying to put band-aids on the solution by like wearing shoes that are higher up than others, or getting that surgery that makes your legs taller or whatever, that doesn't solve the issue, right? You're still going to have the insecurity about yourself at the core. You're not going to feel good enough. So these are all band-aid solutions. You do not want to go those routes. Instead, focus on your self-worth. So this can be a bit of a lifelong journey because it's all about self-acceptance. Accepting yourself as you are, with all your flaws, with you not being tall, and yeah, the list goes on, right? We all have a lot more insecurities than just our height, so working on accepting yourself will solve a lot of problems in your life. It'll make you more confident, which will solve a lot of the problems that come with being short, right? Usually when you're short, it makes you lack confidence because you've dealt with bullies and other things. I know I personally did while growing up, and you'll also get rejected from women a lot if they're superficial. That also happened to me too. So yeah, there are plenty of things that make you lose confidence over time. But the thing you want to realize here is that those are all external things from you, and they don't necessarily define you. This is one of the biggest problems we make while growing up. We start defining ourselves according to the way other people would define us. And yes, I know you'll probably say, but Josh, if everyone views me a certain way, doesn't that mean that they're right? Maybe. But what if you're surrounded by a-holes or insecure people and they all think that you're dumb or whatever, and you're actually smart, you get straight A's on your test, but maybe because you don't fit into their little group, they consider you stupid? Would they be right? No, this is what I mean. This is why you shouldn't let other people define you, because rather often what people will do if they haven't worked on themselves, which is most people, is they'll kind of project their insecurities onto you, which will make you feel worse about yourself, but it won't really have anything to do with you. It has everything to do with them. It's their insecurities that they're projecting onto you. They're the problem, not you. So realize this. To better convey this point, I've got an interesting story from my childhood I'd like to share with you, where I grew up having this friend who lived a block over from me, and things were good for quite some time. I think we were friends from like maybe first grade to fifth grade, but then something happened and he changed, and he suddenly became a bully towards me. And I remember back then I didn't quite understand it, because I was thinking, what the heck is going on here? We used to be friends. Why did he suddenly turn against me? Like, did I do something wrong? I don't recall doing anything. So what's the deal here? Why did he flip like that? And I later found out it was because he was jealous of me because I was close friends with the girl he liked. And I didn't know that until later. And it was mind-blowing, right? But see, this guy bullied me so much from fifth grade to like even a bit of high school. I remember even in high school I was thinking, why does this kid still not like me? Like, holy crap, he's got a problem. He's holding a grudge forever, Jesus. And it just showed that like you shouldn't allow other people to define you, Because if I listened to all the crap that he spewed in my direction, all the ways he made fun of me, also for my height and whatnot, it would have made me feel horrible about myself. And sure, there was a time where I did listen to that because I didn't know any better. I didn't have like an adult version of myself to kind of steer me in the right direction and give me that supportive talk that I needed. But later on, I rejected all of it because I realized that this guy, for as long as he bullied me, he did it out of insecurity because he was jealous of me when we were kids, and he just couldn't let that go for whatever BS reason. It had everything to do with him and nothing to do with me. So hopefully this helps convey the point on why you shouldn't let other people define you, even for your height and other things like that you can't control. Usually when people are cruel or mean towards you like that, especially if it's unprovoked, it's because of them and their own problems, and it has nothing to do with you. So if anybody's out there making fun of your height, or if you get rejected by a woman over your height, realize that these are crappy people that you do not even want to include in your life, especially when it comes to dating. If a woman rejects you for your height, that's good. You do not want to date women like this. Believe me, holy crap, that is so superficial. I can tell you right now, I've dated plenty of women who are actually either the same height or even taller than me. It was not an issue for them because they weren't superficial, right? I understand that like superficiality is becoming a bit more of a problem now, so maybe there are less superficial women in general, but I don't know, I think that's more of like a big city thing. As long as you get away from big cities, you'll probably find women who are more down to earth. And there really even will be a lot of down to earth women in big cities. There are also a lot of superficial ones. So after a while, it does kind of feel like the superficial ones are the norm, but maybe they're not, I don't know, it's just hard to say. But regardless, do not take rejection like that personally. We really have to get better at understanding that rejection often doesn't have to do all that much with us. It's up to the other person and their own standards, and whatever BS influence their standards. I only say BS there because most people's standards are a bit dumb when you really think about it. They're too superficial. They're things that really don't matter in the long run when it comes to having a great relationship, and especially when it comes to raising a good family. Too many people out there are influenced by social media and allow their standards to become absolutely ridiculous and out of touch with reality. So if you get rejected by these people, don't take it personally. They're the problem. Why do they have these ridiculous standards? Why do you need to reach a certain height criteria for them? You can't even control your height. Realize how superficial that is. So again, do not take that personally. But going back to what I already mentioned, I have actually dated women who were taller than me. And the whole reason why that was possible is because I didn't allow my height to be an issue for me. I didn't feel bad about it. This was later into adulthood when I had the time to work on accepting myself more. But by that point, I mean, if I wasn't worried about my height, why would they be? I think the tallest woman I've ever dated was 6'1", so that was a decent gap between us in terms of height, right? She towered over me quite a bit. But again, it wasn't a problem because I didn't view it as one. I didn't view the height being an issue. So the more that you can do this in your own life and just accept your height and the fact that you can't change it and realize that anybody who would reject you over it is not a great person, the easier it will be for you to move forward without it being a problem for you either. And the less of a problem it is for you, the less of a problem it will be for other people. In truth, most people will kind of view us the way that we view ourselves. There's a lot of truth to that saying. Accept yourself as you are, be comfortable in your own skin, the less other people will even notice your height. I mean, I've had so many times in comments where people tell me that when I reveal the fact that I'm not tall at all, they actually thought that I was really tall, not because of any cues in my videos showing me to be tall, but actually because of the way that I carry myself. Literally that alone made them believe that I was tall. There you go. This is what you want to work on in your own life, just becoming more comfortable in your own skin, accepting yourself. The more that you do that, you will kind of develop that aura that makes you come off a bit taller than you are. And all that really is because you simply accept yourself and you're okay with yourself. This is what you want to work on. So before this video gets too long, I want to give you some quick tips on how you can work on accepting yourself as you are. What you want to do is basically work on reframing the way that you think. A lot of your thought processes probably aren't that helpful. A lot of them are probably more on the side of self-sabotaging than being supportive of yourself, right? I mean, if you think your height is a problem already, that's kind of leading towards self-sabotage, right? So what you want to do is start rejecting those old ways of thinking, especially if you can pinpoint the source of those thoughts. If they came from your childhood, and especially if they came from bullies, then reject them. Why are you going to let bullies tell you who you are? It goes back to what I was saying earlier. Don't let other people define you, especially people who are insecure, because they're just going to give you a bunch of nonsense that they're spewing on you. You don't want that. If you were to let other people define you, you'd want to be defined by people who are secure in themselves, people who are comfortable in their own skin, because then they'll actually be able to define you in a way that's probably accurate and even helpful. They're going to see you for who you are and not be spewing their own insecurities onto you in an attempt to bring you down to their level. Because if somebody isn't happy about themselves and they see that you are happier than they are, they're going to want to bring you down. They're going to want to crush you. So why the hell would you let those people define who you are? Don't do that. Reject those old thought patterns that stem from people like that. It's also helpful to stop following any kind of content creators that make you feel more insecure about yourself. So anyone who's telling you nonsense about like how height is super important and all that, stop following these people. Stop following creators from the black pill or red pill communities, because rather often they're just going to say a bunch of stuff that keeps you disempowered, keeps you feeling like a victim. So that way you'll keep watching their videos, getting that kind of self-satisfaction from it because, oh, these people like think the same way I do and it makes me feel good about myself. And yet the whole time you're just digging yourself deeper into this victimhood mentality. That is not helpful in the slightest. So strive to get rid of those content creators and only follow people who actually empower you. People who are actually telling you things that is truly helpful, not people who are reinforcing victim mentalities that are not going to do anything for you, especially if it's a victim mentality surrounding your height. Literally, you can't change that. So how is that helpful, right? You'll be a victim forever if you fall into those ways of thinking. So reject that crap. And then the last thing kind of ties into the first about like working on your thought processes, but basically you want to just work on being more of a friend to yourself, being more supportive of yourself in your own head. You can even kind of talk to yourself with your thoughts. I've done this in the past and it was super helpful. I've literally had pep talks with myself after getting rejected by women that I really liked, and I was in a bad place. And I remember one time I literally drove to like the top of this hill where I used to live back in LA. And I was just kind of overlooking all of LA from that hill at nighttime, and it was really cool. And I remember just giving myself kind of like the pep talk of my life, basically talking myself off the ledge because I was in such a bad place. There were other problems in my life beyond the girl. The girl just kind of was a tipping point there. So yeah, but that pep talk really helped. I mean, holy crap, it was such a powerful thing because it was basically me showing myself that I can pull myself out of dark places. I can kind of be like a friend to myself. You want to work on that too, being kinder to yourself. You can even accept yourself with your thoughts. Like when you look at yourself in the mirror next time, if you notice your flaws, just accept them. Tell yourself, hey, I can't do anything about these things. It's fine to be the way that I am. It's fine to look the way that I am. It's fine to be not tall. It's fine to have the hair that I have, or the nose that I have, or the eyes that I have, or whatever it may be. It is completely fine. Accept yourself. You're a normal human being just like everyone else out there. And we all have flaws in our appearances and things that we wish we could change, but focusing on those things is not helpful if you can't do anything about them. So simply accept them. It's okay to be who you are. And as a little bonus tip, I'll share one last thing with you. This one is kind of a bit something you need to be careful with because it's kind of more of a band-aid solution, but it also helps to literally just work on becoming more physically strong. There's just something about that. The stronger you are, the more you look strong, people will kind of respect you more. And especially if you're short, it's like the one thing you'll have that will stop people from immediately prejudging you because of your height and that kind of thing. I did notice the more that I worked out, the more respect I earned from other people, the less they would mess with me and that kind of thing. And it was a breath of fresh air, I'll be honest, because I'd never had that before in my entire life, especially when I was short and really thin. Like there was a time where I was paper thin and my God, nobody took me seriously because nobody viewed me as anything close to a threat. And there really, I mean, you don't want to do this to be perceived as a threat, but there just is something in human psychology where the more kind of physically impressive you are, the more people will respect you. We all know this, right? So that is something, again, it's kind of a band-aid solution. It doesn't fix the problem of the insecurity at your core, but it just can help you when it comes to other people respecting you more and that kind of thing, which is why I'm sharing it. But please, work first and foremost on actually accepting yourself in your own skin before just working out to earn other people's respect. You do not want to use lifting as a way to kind of mask that inner insecurity. You want to use lifting simply because you want to become stronger. That's helpful in your own life. and because it has that added bonus of just, nobody will pick on you anymore because you won't be an easy target. So there you go, one last tip there. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. I truly hope it was useful. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and put a thumbs up on the video for the algorithm if you enjoyed it. That helps me out immensely. And if one-on-one coaching with me is something that would interest you, I can definitely help you work on this height insecurity. Feel free to reach out to me at my website linked below as well. But that's all I have for you guys. Truly hope it was useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Arrivederci!